Hello, and welcome to Next Up with Naming St. Louis. I'm your host, Will Houston. I'm the Marketing and Technology Chair of Naming St. Louis. And on this podcast, we're here to explore the stories, experiences, and insights of dynamic professionals making strides in their careers. We'll be speaking with those who are on a journey of growth and advancement. Our goal is to inspire, inform, and connect you with incredible talent shaping the future of the communications industry. Thank you for joining us today. Let's introduce our next guest. On this episode, we'll be speaking with Tifanie Stone. Tifanie is an accomplished network engineer with nearly 10 years of dedicated experience in maintaining the integrity and performance of a national fiber optic network. She possesses extensive experience in diagnosing and resolving complex network issues, consistently delivering efficient break-fix solutions that ensure continuous operation and minimal disruption. Tifanie's in-depth understanding of fiber infrastructure and her proven problem-solving abilities make her an invaluable asset in the demanding field of network engineering.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and glad to get you on here. You know, we talked a little bit about this interview prior to doing it, and we kind of talked. I wanted to get somebody in the engineering field a little more technical to come on. And when I started to think about people I've worked with in the past, my colleagues, I was like, you know what, I got to talk to Tifanie. So I'm glad you,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm glad you agreed to it. So, can you let's just start off. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my name's Tifanie Stone. I am 32 years old. I started off as far as in the telecommunications industry. Um, Starting off at the bottom layer. Kind of like most people. Started in a call center, internet and phone repair. I'll be honest, I'm surprised I got to where I am. I knew nothing about internet at that time. Um, I was very naive on that. Took me a while. So that's a little bit about myself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely can relate there. Just kind of looking back, I mean, that's when we met back in those days, right? So
Yes.
just kind of looking back, thinking about the little trainings and, some of the things that they taught us in those days. And now we're talking about, large, wide network stuff, like, big stuff that runs the whole country. And it's just like, yeah, no, I don't think I knew it was going to end up like this.
Yeah, I didn't see that, when I started. Uh, and I think that's kind of what got me like my skills to where I am now. Just starting at the bottom and understanding the basic fundamentals of the network, starting from coax and just seeing how it's ran to someone's house and how someone gets their internet. So that was how I got started in my telecommunications field.
Nice. Good, good, good. Yeah. So, fully agree there is that, I know these days, with, the advent of AI, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, a lot of these entry level jobs are going away and, the frontline jobs are going away. But I can't tell you how many high level engineers, including yourself, that I know now who started exactly where we started.
Yes.
And and it's like, I understand that you might want to simplify the front end or, even if it's just like really unethical and you kind of want to get rid of having to pay people, right? Which again, I think that's unethical. But even if that's the
Yes.
case, yeah, even if that's the case, it's like, a lot of the people in the workforce right now who are doing high level work started there. And that you missing out on that is, I think it's a mistake for sure.
It's
Personally.
a big mistake, especially where you're coming from. I mean, the times that we're in, it's very, especially for our field, it's kind of unsettling. For a very long time, the telecommunications industry was, very stable. We didn't
Yeah.
have AI introduced at that time. So with automation coming into place, it does change a couple things, but us as networkers understand, especially in my role, I deal with break fix. Fibers get cut
Yep.
There's car accidents, there's national disasters, there's stuff that we cannot predict that, us humans are still needed for.
Oh, absolutely. 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 No, you're so right. You're so right. So, you said that you started from the entry level, you started from the bottom, right? Doing internet and phone repair. Now, you're a network engineer. I know this about you, but I want you to talk a little bit about, sort of the areas you cover, right? Because it's not a small it's not a small network that you handle, right? You handle break
Yes.
fix for a large swath of the country. So I want you to get into that a little bit. But first, can you tell me a little bit about just some of the non-tangibles, right? Some of the drive that it took within you to get from being an entry level, help, Mr. Victor, Miss Betty fix their internet, which is actually their TV that's not working, right? What
Yeah.
drive what drive did it take for you to get from that entry level position to now doing what it is you do, right? That just those intangibles, the kind of the motivation inside yourself to kind of get there.
I think my biggest motivation for me personally was my kids.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's often that, I was telling my kids about college and,
Yeah.
how you should go to college and that get you a good job and,
Right.
pursue your career, but I didn't really take that path.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it was very important for me um, to drive and try to succeed and not just settle at
Yeah.
somewhere. It's very uncomfortable to move up.
Yeah.
You do have to network, you have to get outside of your box. A little bit about me, I'm shy. I don't talk to people normally.
Mhm. Yeah.
But when I'm at work or
Right.
I'm at networking events, that's I have to get out of my box.
Yeah.
I have to show my personality. I have to show what I have to offer um, to get to the next stage in life. So I think that was my biggest drive.
Good, good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same. I remember first coming into the industry and, I was kind of coming off from, a business I tried to start and it didn't work out the way I wanted to. I had a small family and I'm like, all right, I need a job.
you know?
And I'm like, but yeah, that was my motivation. I'm like, I got in there and I found out that I'm actually pretty good at this. And then I'm like, well, what else can I do? Right. And that, that drive for that was like, hey, you know, first I need to take care of my family. And then it was, oh, well, how good can we do? Right? How far can we take this? And yeah, I think that was very big for me. Very big for me too. All right, and then so now to some more intangible pieces of just kind of growing within the industry outside of, okay, what is my motivation? What is my drive? Can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that you studied to move from that entry level more into a higher level network engineering field or background that you're in now?
Yes. So, one thing I would, I guess, like to start with that, with my studies, didn't want to study. I was that person that was test anxiety,
Oh yeah.
don't like taking tests.
Yep.
So, that's the reason why I didn't go to college. So,
Mhm.
I had worries at first.
Yeah.
But I had a colleague, and that's where networking comes a big drive to have
Mhm.
positive people around you and supporters
Yeah.
that told me, hey, you're really good at this. Have you looked at the OSI model?
Mhm.
And that was the first thing that really got me into it. And I was like, well, what is this? And they were like, you're already doing like layer one already.
Right.
Like, and I
Yeah.
was like, really? I am? Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So researching that and getting studies with that, and then I moved over to the JNCIA,
Mhm.
especially with a lot of telecommunication companies. They use different vendors, so
Mhm.
being educated on their equipment, whether that be Cisco or Alcatel, or
Yeah.
just making sure that I was proficient at my job to make
Right.
my life easier was my reason for studying.
Nice, nice, nice. No, that's great. And that again to your point, right? A lot of people are probably gonna end up listening to this are probably in that position, right? Sit in that seat, taking incoming calls, waiting for the beep, and then and they're gonna hear that. So it's like, oh wow, so these people they started where I was, and you mean to tell me I'm actually doing some of that stuff now, right? Because it doesn't
Yeah.
dawn on you. It doesn't, yeah, it really doesn't dawn on you because you're like, okay, well, the way they trained me on this, it's, you need to, follow the prompt for the troubleshooting so you can get through the call as quick as possible, right? But there's a other aspect of that is that just behind that front area, there's a whole lot of technology that you're actually dealing with that you may or may not understand until you like you said until somebody shines that light on it. You're like, oh wow, I'm actually really doing something here. This is not just a job. I can actually make something of this, and I think that's so important.
Yes, I think that's where it kind of, especially with telecommunications, whether that be you want to go for cybersecurity or you want to do IT or you want to be that network engineer, it's deciding that you want to change your job into a career,
Right,
uh,
that's it.
a lasting career.
Yeah,
Especially for us people in networking, it is constant studying. Like
yeah, yeah.
studying never stops. Like you never stop learning. You can never stop improving or learning new things from people. So I think that's a real big thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, and so let's switch the gear a little bit here, and I want to know a little bit. Now we've talked a little about it, right, from where you were to where you are now, but can you tell me a little bit about your career pathway? What were some of the like major career milestones as that you noticed or that you were trying to hit, or even if you didn't notice which milestones you were hitting at the time that you were taking throughout your transition, right, from rep to engineer, right? What were some of those milestones you had?
I think one of the big milestones that at the time, I didn't look at it as a milestone. I think when you start taking phone calls, the first thing that you're like, I just want to stop taking phone calls. so
Yeah,
I went into a program called mentorship, where I was able to help the new hires understand what I went through and help them with the phone calls and things like that. So when I started that, it helped me understand the network, because in order to teach other people, I have to have a full understanding of it,
yes, yes,
because they're going to have questions and I need to make sure I can answer those questions or find the answers to them if I don't have them.
right.
So that was a big transition. From there, talking with the people in my mentorship, they were the ones that, pushed me to that, hey, you can do more.
Right.
Um, so that's what got me pathway segued in. The biggest thing, they had me shadow the job to see if I actually even liked it at first.
Yeah, yeah.
so
It's
um,
important.
yeah, it's very important because you might not like it. It's not for everybody.
Mm,
But I loved it.
yeah,
To get deep into the equipment and see what's going on. Can I fix this right now to get it up for the customer instead of waiting longer?
right,
So
right.
those little small accomplishments got me to where I am now.
Nice, nice. And so one thing you pointed out, and this may be something for you, or there may be something else that you encounter. But one thing that you pointed out is that when you were just about to study, you had a little anxiety about it, right? Whether it was about the test taking or just taking the time. I mean, it's strenuous on you, right? It's not easy. Like studying, sitting down, and like especially when you have a family, it's not easy to just say, okay, family, give me an hour to read, right? You
Yeah.
know, and so I know that you kind of brought those up as some challenges earlier on. Can you speak to that, those being challenges, or if you had other challenges that you faced and how you overcame them on the road to getting to where you are?
I think the challenges that I face, kind of like what you said, is kind of like a work life balance. That was my
Hmm.
challenge, and I think we all run into that challenge at some point of our career. Um, but I also, you know, was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about, what do you want out of your life?
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. And, he broke down the days and how many hours we have in a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, for an hour a day, I can study to one, improve my career.
Hmm.
We all like money, of course.
Yes.
So, to make sure that I could elevate myself is why I started studying. It's really hard to put time aside.
Hmm.
It's hard to make yourself want to do it, read a book about some codes.
You're right.
Doesn't sound exciting to do, but
Right. Right.
you just gotta hunker down and do it. It's worth it.
It is. It really is. And I mean, I think you hit on a great point right there, right? Especially, you know, you know, engineer to engineer, right? We don't necessarily always step back and say, okay, you know what? This is not fun reading. This is boring. This is dry and boring, right? Like because we
Yes.
understand that, okay, I have a goal at the end. That's why I'm reading this. But if you're just telling somebody, hey, go pick up a Cisco book, go pick up a JNCIA PDF, so you can learn this stuff. They're gonna look at it and fall asleep.
Yes. Yes.
It's sometimes we get so used to it in our grind that we're like, okay, I just read three white pages, that were 10 pages a piece, or three white papers that were 10 pages a piece, or I just finished reading a book that's as that's 4 inches thick, right? So I can understand more about what I do, and you get used to it. But then when you tell somebody else, look, all you got to do is just go pick up this book, read that book, and you'll know. And they pick it up and they're like, oh my goodness, you know. But if you keep it in mind that I'm doing this so that I can do better, right? Like that does it's a challenge, but it makes it worth it, right? And
Yeah.
it's hard to tell somebody that sometimes.
And I can say, as far as like, I guess, overcoming those challenges,
Hmm.
your support group, that
Hmm.
was very important for me because,
Yeah.
I do have a family. So,
Yeah.
my kids still need to be attended to. Dinner
Hmm.
still needs to be cooked.
Right.
Things still has to go, even though I still need to set that time aside. So the
Yeah.
support system, and then also finding people that you work with, or
Yeah.
family, or someone in that same community as you.
Right.
Many support groups, and that's one thing that I love about this support group, is that
Hmm.
there's so many people in the telecommunications community
Yes.
that you can learn from.
So true.
So,
So true.
study groups was a big thing for me,
Yeah.
because I do not like to study.
Yeah.
So having people that I could sit with, and we could eat chips, and we could
Hmm.
study and talk over these things, made
Hmm.
so much easier
Yeah.
than sitting alone and reading it. So that did help me overcome my challenge.
Nice, nice. No, that's a great idea, the study groups. And another thing that you pointed out too is mentoring. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said this, is that, when you're mentoring, you're learning too, right? You're not just teaching somebody, you're having to reteach yourself, right? And I think that those two things, the study groups, the mentoring, and just having somebody to hold you accountable, I think yeah, that's really important. That's so important what you said, for sure. So we talked about milestones. We talked about some of the challenges that you faced and overcame to get to where you are now. Now that you're here, right? What is a little bit about? Can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day routine, right? I know that some of the things of probably a lot of things that you do are proprietary, right? So you can't go into some of the details, but can you give us a little bit of an outline of kind of what a day in your life looks like?
Yeah. So I deal with break fix. So we deal with fiber.
Hmm.
So we deal with fiber cuts.
Hmm.
I deal with the day-to-day tickets,
Hmm.
day-to-day calls to make sure that we can get the network back up. So. That's a little bit about what we do day to day.
Yeah, yeah. So of those things, I guess, what do you see, like for instance, what would be like a challenging, what would be like a challenging situation for you? I know you mentioned fiber cuts, and you also earlier mentioned kind of like natural disasters and things like that. When you have like a challenging day, what does it look like for you? Is it like a high, fast-paced kind of situation, or how do you handle some of those things?
Yes, that's one thing I think many people don't talk about. It could be
Hmm.
very hectic,
Yeah.
sometimes stressful, especially as you mentioned earlier, in my field, I cover a large region. I
Yeah.
mean, all the way from California, Texas, New York,
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
even Hawaii. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's times that there's hurricanes.
Right.
Recently, we've had some bad flooding in Texas.
Hmm.
So those fiber cuts, they're very important, especially people's phone lines and things
Yeah.
like that is based on how fast we can fix this. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very stressful. And of course, everybody wants their stuff fixed. I mean, I know even me being in the telecommunications company, when I come home and if my TV's not working, I'm like, oh no, like how long
Yeah.
is it going to take?
Yeah.
So I'm calling the company. So,
Right.
very stressful, fast paced company. Well, not company, but situation sometimes.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that uh, you know, when you just kind of laid out the regions that you work in, right? I mean, you just, you went from Hawaii that's got volcanoes
Yes.
to California that's got some wildfires to Texas with tornadoes and floods and ice storms. New York has hurricanes and ice storms. It's like all those places that you just mentioned. If nobody ever does anything to the fiber for like vandalism, you're gonna have a million problems dealing with keeping the service up in any of those places, right? So I
Yeah.
imagine, yeah, I imagine that you're just go, go, go sometimes. How do you keep so with that, with it just kind of being fast paced, kind of hectic, how do you keep, it this is a skill within itself, right? But how do you keep everything together, right? So if you have this many tickets coming in and things are getting hectic, how do you, align your chi to make sure that you stay on top on your P's and Q's?
See, so for the longest, I struggled with that.
Hmm.
I wanted to like knock out everything so
Oh
fast.
yeah.
And, I thought the most important thing was just knocking everything out.
Hmm. Hmm.
But then, that's where mentors and,
Hmm.
leadership is very important because, I had a talk with one of my mentors and they were like, hey, Tiffany, you can only do one ticket at a time.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you could do.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what's going on, I can only handle and make sure that this ticket has the best quality.
Hmm.
Because if I do 1,000 tickets and, I'm not responding to them and we leave a text somewhere,
Hmm.
it doesn't really benefit our client.
Right.
So I had to take a step back and,
Yeah.
breathe sometimes is
Yeah.
very important.
Hmm.
And just making sure that you're producing quality work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's that's so important, right? It's like, you have a million tickets coming in. It's like I can't work a million tickets. I'm a human being, right? I
Yes.
can do I can do one. I think that is so important. That is so important. And so you've talked about, some of what you do, what you work on. Um, I'm this next question is I'm going to be tiptoeing around it a little bit because I know that you can't talk about like the tools that you use and stuff, some of that stuff, right?
Okay.
But like you do like use things that are pretty much network wide, right?
Yeah.
Um, can you talk about some of those things like the routers and not the you don't have to talk about the brand names and stuff like, but what kind of technologies do you encounter as a network engineer?
We encounter multiple things,
Hmm.
especially because with, you know, telecommunication growing so much, we're getting into, wavelengths and
Hmm.
optical. Um,
Yeah.
year now.
Right.
So, first we just had fiber and now it's going to a whole nother level. So
Right.
not only the fiber, but the routers and the
Hmm.
switches, and especially with a lot of, like, people know we have different companies for our cell phones dealing
Hmm.
with their
Oh
tab.
yeah.
So it's a lot of different technology and things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And as the years grow, new things will come into place.
Oh right, right, right. And then it's back to the beginning, right? Back to
Yes.
study, 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 study.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so to switch it up a little bit, right? We got into some heavy stuff right there with the technology. We got into some heavy stuff with, just how to keep your head together while you're working, crazy outages. Um, so to kind of soften it up a little bit, can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved with NAMIC? Just I know you're a member. Can you just tell me a little bit about your membership and how you learned about it?
Yes. So I had a mentor, Mrs. Walker. I love
Mhm.
her to pieces. So she was my mentor. I wanted to mentor someone, those CEOs, the
Mm,
VP, high up there in, the telecommunications industry, to see how they got there, what
right.
steps they took.
Okay.
Is there anything that I can do? And she mentioned to me about NAMIC,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, hey, that's awesome. She was like, it's a great community with people, all different fields, all the way from entry level all the way to the very top.
Okay.
Um, and it's just a great community. Everyone's friendly, very knowledgeable. And just having that support system is very, very important, I feel like, in this industry.
No, you're so right. You're so right. And when I learned about it and hearing about there being uh a organization for black people, people of color, in the telecommunications field, I'm like, let me learn a little bit more about it. And then to your point, right, I had a mentor who told me, he said, hey, you should check this out. Consider being a member, consider seeing how you can get involved. And I was kind of the same. I was just like, wow, everybody I've met has been, you know. And I'm biased now, right? Being
You're
that I'm
right.
that I'm part of a chapter and everything, but at the same time, yeah, everybody I've met has been so eager to try to help you progress your career. And, I think that you probably can speak the same, right? I've seen where some of the information and advice people have given me, I've been able to use in real time. I've been able to apply it right then. And it's just so helpful.
Yes. Yes, it's very helpful.
All right. So, now we're gonna just kind of move on to a little bit about industry insights, right? So, this is less about kind of your day to day, what you do, and more about what do you think the future might look like, and what things that you might think newcomers might need to know, right? So, do you have any predictions about what telecommunication, and again, it doesn't have to be necessarily about the technology, just things that you see, trends that you see in what you do that might help you predict what the future of the industry might look like? I know it's a big question.
Yeah, I think shifting and studying is going to be very, very important. Especially in the days that we are in now. Like before, we kept technology for years, for
Mhm.
10, 20 years before it changed,
Yeah, yeah.
But now stuff is evolving so quickly. So the importance of staying up to pace with that,
Hmm.
seeing what is changing. I know we
Hmm.
all know about AI.
Right.
It's a big.
Right.
So we all know that automation is going to take some part. We don't know how much, but it'll take some part in this. But with automation, we also have to think about now cybersecurity is going to be a
Mm.
big thing now,
Hmm.
more than it ever was before, because everyone's on phones, everyone's
Oh
on
yeah.
computers, everyone's on laptops, and just making sure that it's secure is very important. So newcomers, I think it's very important to look at the different fields in telecommunications because there's a wide range of where you can go. Um, as what interests you would be the best to pick.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a good one. And that's actually the first time I've heard anybody mention that. But cybersecurity is definitely important, right? Everything that we do, everything we do, we're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna hop on a computer, I'm gonna, do this, or I'm gonna go to this website. And most people never think, you know, this could be a website that, I've entered my credit card information somewhere else, and now all of a sudden I don't have any money. Right? You people don't think about that much, and it's so important. So yeah, I think that's the first time I've heard anybody say that one. But that is so important. So thank you for that. Thank you for
No problem.
that. And then and then it's kind of the next part would be more about advice and tips. You kind of already gave a little bit of or well, not even a little bit, a really great tip on, just for aspiring people in telecommunications, and who want to be in the technical side, right, on the engineering side, for things to look out for. We'll lighten it up a little bit. Do you have a book that you recommend, or maybe a book or like a podcast that you recommend? And here's the other part of it, right? One professional and one that's just for fun.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So a book, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna steer anyone to do it, but CC in a book.
Hmm.
Even if you don't take the course,
Yeah.
very, very educational.
Oh
Um,
yes.
regardless of what field you go into with telecommunications, I just feel like that's like very understanding. It
Hmm.
kind of opens your mind to what's really going on. So
Yeah.
that's a good book as far as educational wise.
Hmm.
As far as funny, I
Or even if
listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
the I
Go
listen
ahead.
to the Millionaire Morning Show.
Okay.
So just aspiring
Yeah.
for trying to think about more things that you want in life.
Right. Yeah. The Millionaire Morning Show. Nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So the first one, I'm 100% with. I'm 100% with you on. That was the same thing that got me. Right. It's a long, dry read. You there may be parts of it you don't like, but if you are able to take that information in, then that is the foundation for everything that you need to know about the internet. And it'll even get you started. I would say, like, if you start thinking about IP addressing, and you start going, you learn about like dotted decimal or binary. That's even some of the starts to AI, right? If you wanted to
Yeah.
learn some of that. So like it's a very all-encompassing ICND 1 and 2, the CCNA books. It's very all-encompassing. So I agree with that one completely. That probably would be the same one I get, honestly. And then you said, so the millionaire, you said it was the millionaires what podcast?
Morning show.
Millionaires Morning Show.
But I don't normally do like, I guess, podcasts, but good things that I would say to listen to. I
Hmm.
do catch people on LinkedIn. I don't know if
Hmm.
they have podcasts, but going
Hmm.
down LinkedIn and just seeing people talk, um,
Yeah.
like TED Talk is a
Oh
really
yeah, Ted. Yep.
yes.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the Millionaires Morning Show and TED Talk. I agree. I agree. Okay, I've never heard about the Millionaires Morning Show because I'm all into, the financial literacy and stuff. So I'm gonna have to check that one out. I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you like to add that just about telecommunications, anything that I didn't, ask you, or things that are just kind of that you would point out, or anything like that you want to talk about?
No, I just think the biggest thing is just make sure that you reach out. It's very important that regardless of what role you're in, going to your leadership and expressing what your passions is and what your career path that you want to achieve is
Yeah.
very important to taking that next step.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I agree 100%. Tiffany, this has been a great conversation. Thank you for all the insights that you've given. And thank you for even agreeing to do this podcast. Thank you so much, and it was great speaking with you.
Thank you. Have a
All right,
good one.
you too.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found it encouraging and insightful. With over 15 chapters nationwide, NAMIC is passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the communications industry, with a wider range of professional development opportunities, networking events, and leadership programs. NAMIC is dedicated to empowering multi-ethnic diversity in the media and communications industry. Members gain access to valuable resources, industry insight, and an incredible community of like-minded professionals. For more information, go to NAMIC.com or to the NAMIC St. Louis chapter at NAMICSt.Louis.com or LinkedIn at LinkedIn.com/NAMIC St. Louis. Thank you and have a wonderful month. See you next time.